All right. Welcome to Into the Light. I'm your host, Edina Mauvana. Today we have Addison Ames. Addison is an awakened teacher, a speaker, healer, and channel. He brings high dimensional wisdom and healing to guide individuals through life's challenges and opportunities. As a conduit for the divine and the channel for Metatron, Addison shares transformative knowledge, empowering others to awaken, heal, and understand the universe. With truth, love, and joy, he inspires and encourages growth on the spiritual journey. Amazing. Thank you, Addison, so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you.
Adina, thank you so much. Beautiful introduction. And
Oh, yes.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me on your show.
This is awesome because, the first thing I noticed about your introduction is our channel work. I've spoken to a couple people who do channel work in the past, but never one quite so specific as being a channel for Metatron. So can you tell us a little bit, people who have no idea what we're talking about, what that means and who Metatron is and what does it mean to even be a channel?
For sure. Well, channeling has become something of a craze, if you will. It's become very popular these days, especially in the spiritual community, because it's really cool. It's a way to, just like you and I are talking right now, to interact with a high dimensional being. And people are channeling many different kinds of beings. Some channel other parts of themselves, like higher selves. Some
Mm-hmm.
channel collectives, like groups of beings. Some channel extraterrestrials. Some
Right.
channel angels. Some channel divine or divine beings. And so it's a really cool way to interact, hear direct information, and even ask questions of the being. So it's really cool. And the way I channel is what I call a full body channel. So I connect with Metatron, who is really a collective of 16 beings who work together as one.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah, it's really cool. We'll talk a little bit more about Metatron in a minute or two.
Yeah.
Metatron is a very high dimensional being specialized in ascension for Earth, humanity, and really all creation. So he's really cool,
Wow.
especially now. Ascension is so important. I think you even have a book about
Yeah,
ascension, don't you?
Ascension is the new attraction. You got it here, people. Thank you.
So Metatron is a very high dimensional being that focuses on ascension. He drops in and helps people. So when I connect with Metatron as a channel, I connect with him in the mind or through the mind. And
Uh-huh.
he kind of comes in. It's almost like a Vulcan mind meld kind of thing that we do. It's pretty cool. And so as a full body channel, he takes over. I go to the back seat. And so people actually interact with Metatron, not me. So that's basically what channeling is, where another high dimensional being comes in and interacts as the person. And so people can hear from that being or ask questions of that being. That's basically what channeling
Wow.
is.
And what does it mean when I see other people who also channel Metatron? Is it like, how does this work at the same? I know quantum a little bit, time and space, but can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I definitely have been through a meditation where they channeled Metatron and it was obviously different person. So how does that work?
Yeah. Well, so Metatron is pretty popular right now in the world today, really all over the world, because people are so focused on ascension, as you know.
Okay. Okay. I
So
love
so
it. I
Metatron,
didn't know that was exactly why, but I'm glad I
yeah,
learned that today.
yeah, that's one of his specialties. He does some other things. Some people think he's an archangel, and
Yeah, I've heard that.
high dimensional beings can work in a lot of different ways. So just like you have different jobs, you have different roles that you do as Edina. Metatron has different business cards or different faces that he can wear. So he's actually higher than an archangel, but can put on the garb or the outfit or the personality of an archangel and work as an archangel. There are other people who channel Metatron. And as you may know, the being, the person, has effect on how the channel is, or the being that's channeled. So people will channel Metatron, but channel them in different ways, but it's still all Metatron.
Wow. I have to tell you something because my spiritual journey acceleration really happened about a year and a couple months ago. It was last year's Ramadan. So we had
Mhm.
April Ramadan. And my best friend in the whole world, after our trip, we had a sacred journey trip together. And she's like, you have to wear Metatrons, like it was in rose quartz with copper wiring and the Metatron symbol and things like that.
The Merkaba.
And the Merkaba. And so I knew about it and I wore that quite often. Do things like that actually work, or what, because
Yeah,
obviously this is amazing. Here you are in my life and I had no idea.
for sure. I would say you're probably connected to Metatron in some way just because of your work.
Okay.
And I can kind of like see you and understand your energy pretty well. I'd say Metatron's a part of your life. If you want Metatron to be more of a part of your life, you probably can easily connect with him. So symbology, symbols, sacred geometry, which really the Merkaba
Yeah.
is a great way to connect with all the energies that also connect to that symbology. And copper is a great connector. Many people know copper connects energy really well. And rose quartz crystal is an energy connector. So I'd say it's a very powerful device for you.
Wow. And I started giving them to people also. I went back and bought more. And actually, me and my sister friend, we also give it to people. And we have one in black and one in rose quartz.
Cool.
So that's amazing. Okay. Well, that I thank you for sharing the details of how that works exactly, because I have never known. And I've had people ask me, well, some people will channel Mary, Mother Mary, Magdalene, Mary, divine feminine energy that's coming into the universe right now seems to have people channeling these higher vibrational energy beings, right? So, how does that work with our ascension process and this vibrational state that we're in? And what do you tell people about how this is working with us as a collective and humanity going through the ascension process? What is it exactly?
For sure. Beautiful question. So, people who are focused on ascension, like you and me, the people that we work with, another way to know them is that they're seekers. You may have heard that language before, use it yourself. They're
Yes,
seekers.
spiritual seekers is one of the. Mhm.
Yeah. So they're seeking knowledge. That's really what
Okay.
it is. And so people watch your show so they can get new information that can help them on their spiritual journey.
Yes.
And the work you do is really, even in your book, is you're saying, here's information for you to consider, think
Hmm.
about, work through. I hope it lights you up. I hope it helps you in your enlightenment process.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
channeling, like I said earlier, is these high dimensional beings drop down new ideas, new solutions, new ways of thinking, new ways of seeing yourself and the world around you. So you go, wow, this is cool. This makes me think, see myself, and see the world anew. What ascension is, in a simple way, is putting the old behind you and getting new. So channelers many times bring in new information that makes people put away the old stuff, the old ways of thinking, old religion, old whatever it is, and
Mm.
we're going to get new, adopt these new ideas, and new higher ideas help the world to ascend through new frequency bands, new vibrations into new places and spaces.
Oh, I love it because that makes so much sense to me. That was definitely what was been occurring, was the dropping in of new ideas and ways of thinking about how we should break out of this old patriarchal, ego-based religion, societal problem, and down to our own self problem and self-awareness. And it led me on a whole opening of how to practice our religion and spiritual practices on a day-to-day basis, and have a lens of viewing the world that works for someone like myself that comes from a Muslim background or a religious background, but we basically start to get insights on how we can view these like rules or whatever and what that really means. So I love that you describe it that way. And it sounds to me like this is the way that you bring people through life's, I know I said in the bio, like challenges and opportunities. So it's almost like you're helping people feel better because they're like, oh my God, I don't have to feel this guilt or judgment or shame or criticism or negative self talk anymore. And they are like, there's another way to view what's happening to me right now. Right. So that's very
Sure.
exciting.
Sure. I'd say, a few of the main things that people come to me for is problem solving. Can you answer my
Mm,
questions? Can you help me figure out what's going on in my life?
right.
Can you help me to get new, put the old stuff behind me? Can you help me to heal? Can you help me to
Mhm.
see new things in the world around me? So people are really looking for solutions. And so people come to people like us who can get high dimensional answers, new perspectives that can help them solve life problems and move forward.
Solve life problems. That's what you said it. And like, I love it because I come from a sales background and people are like, there's certain qualities about me that are not very good at sales, but the thing that I always am good at is solving problems. And my spiritual journey helped me solve the problems in my relationship and understand what was happening with my parenting and in my career and my coworkers. Every area of my life was helped solved by spiritual energy and messaging that was coming to me in this ascension process, like the ideas that we're dropping in and the ways to view things. So hi, I am a fan of your work, Addison. This is amazing. Tell me more about the people that come to you. So what problems do they have? And then what do you help them solve? I know you said there's a lot of different things, but are we talking mental, physical? What kind of real work do you do with your clients?
Sure. Well, I'm most known for being a channel. So people love channeling sessions with Metatron, or many of the people tend to be learners, seekers who are really seeking a lot of knowledge. So I have teaching modules with Metatron where people can sign up for classes with Metatron.
Oh, yeah.
And so I channel Metatron and he teaches. I also have courses. So a lot of my client base are like learners, people who love to go and hear teaching, learn over a long term. People many times work with me. I have clients who've worked with me for years now. So sometimes there's the simple, I need one session just to help me think things through, get some clarity and move forward. Clarity is a big part of what people come to me for. I'm looking for clarity in a relationship, financial clarity, career clarity, and other things like that. So that happens all the way to advanced learners, advanced seekers, and really everything in between. I do soul work. So people who are looking to know themselves as their soul, understand soul alignment, how to know their guide, their soul as their guide. I do timelines work. This is really cool. Timelines work is a block of 5 sessions where we actually travel to people's Akashic records. And we look at their Akashic records as timelines, which are organizational tools that organize all of your life experiences by time. And so we go back and we heal timelines, we close, collapse, or fold old timelines.
Oh, that's how I'm like even our previous lives and things like that, right? Generate. So that's one way that you really impact like generational trauma or curses or anything like that.
Ancestral healing, curses, generational stuff, wounds, all that kind of thing. It can be in the womb healing. One of the things that I find, especially with my female audience, is we go back to what I call timeline 0 or timeline 1, which are very early life timelines while they're a fetus in their mother's womb. And they're absorbing energies, information, all kinds of stuff. And we go back and we uncover things that people didn't even know existed, but they experienced during that 9 months in gestation. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
And so we travel back, and in these 2-hour sessions, we actually journey. We close our eyes and we journey in the mind of all back to those early life timelines, and then heal them, close them, lay them to rest, so people can heal and get new. It's pretty fascinating, actually.
Do you have the person have the memory come up for them? Is there a hypnosis state, or is it you tapping in and explaining what you're seeing when you're going into like these stories?
So it's no hypnosis, but what we do kind of go into a relaxed state together. Each of the 5 sessions is 2 hours long, and we kind of calm down, relax. I encourage the client to lay on the sofa or lay on their bed and kind of turn the lights off and get kind of quiet. And then I journey with them in the mind back to their early life or other life timelines. And they generally see, hear, and feel things. And I'm there with them, and it's a sensory experience and it's interactive. I kind of act as their guide, and they get information too. I share the information that I get. Many times I bring the divine into the session, who provides information and insights and can provide healing and energies and frequencies that are needed. And we kind of go little by little through those 5 sessions very carefully and gingerly, because this is a person's life. Your Akashic records is your personal, very sacred life story. So we treat
Right.
it with a lot of care, and we uncover, they hear things, they feel things. Many times it's a very emotional experience, lots of release, sometimes some crying.
Mm. Wow.
And we decide what we need to do: heal, close, or collapse. And then after the 5 session experience, people really come out feeling changed. It's pretty amazing.
Amazing. Wow. I'm so intrigued by that. I would love to do it myself. And I think everyone would love that, that process, because it feels like right now we're all processing this trauma and these healing experiences and generational things that it might not even be, that are just impacting our lives, and negative energy. So you described that work really well. And I had a question about concept of our best and highest self life. Like I use that sometimes too, like, oh, you're step into your best and highest self life. And, you said it earlier in the beginning where being a channel and understanding the ascension process is, you can connect with different levels of beings, like they're different higher frequencies, and your higher self is one of them. I think you said that in the
Mhm.
beginning. Can you tell me a little bit, like what exactly does that mean? Like if someone asks you, what does it mean? I want to use this process and step into my highest self life so that we can, attract our being on that frequency. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it really just depends on the person. So I'll use us as an example. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, please.
All right. So you have a corporate background, is that right?
Yeah, I do.
So do
Mhm.
I.
Sales.
So my background
Uh-huh.
is in corporate and international marketing, working with Fortune 50 companies all around the world.
Oh,
And I
wow.
had
Amazing.
a series of spiritual awakening events, which kind of forced me into new higher timelines. And so my life changed dramatically because of all that. And
Yeah.
so sometimes for people, it means really like getting a whole new life, whole new career, quitting your job, kind of like what you
Kind of
did,
like me. Yep.
And I quit my job. I started doing this work full time.
Yes.
I'm now an entrepreneur. I use some of that old information and I use it now, but my life changed dramatically. So I would call that like a major shift into new, higher timelines for myself. But for some people, it just depends. It may be, hey, you know what? I'm in this marriage. It's not working. It's abusive. It's difficult. It's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm,
So I have to leave my marriage. So
right.
sometimes they're kind of difficult, sticky kind of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're wonderful, eye-opening things. So it really just depends. But part of my job is to be an awakening agent. It's
Oh,
like
I love that.
it's kind of cool, right?
You're an agent.
Yeah, well, it's like an activation device. So I
Hmm.
give them the information at just the right time and just the right way to help them go, wow, I need to shift into a new higher timeline and start doing things differently.
Right.
So, like the old saying, like a change agent, it's like an ascension agent is you're the person that helps facilitate change.
Ascension agent. I like it. Okay, that's awesome, because you're here to help us in this ascension process, and we are all needing this help. And it occurred to me the other day. It's like, what is for me? What is the ascension process? I get asked that sometimes, and it feels like it's the universe throwing you everything you want, but it's a big jumbled up mess. It's all in the wrong order. Everything is like complicated. It's like, and then we have to get through it, but we need a map. We need a direction. We need the right thing at the right time. And it's like, otherwise, we don't, it just feels really difficult. Like you're in that stage where, maybe your marriage is turning over, and maybe you're but we got to get through all these things, and then come out the other side in this higher vibrational frequency, right? That's what it feels like to me. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. When
Yeah.
people are feeling at the soul, heart, mind, body, being level, hey,
Hmm.
I need to change. I need to start on this, spiritual ascension path. One of the first things that the people do is start look for help.
Right.
I read a book. I watch Edina's podcast. I watch things on TV. I watch different movies. you're looking for support. I book a session with me, somebody or whatever, because
Yes,
people don't really know what to do.
right.
So, in a way, we're helpers. We help
Mhm.
people to see the way.
Yeah, and it seems like there's these spiritual seekers, okay, and everyone's comes from different backgrounds, religions, cultural practices, and it really to me leads into this concept of unity consciousness, this being like the understanding that we're all one and one with source and one with Allah and one with God, like, and it's like, how do you work with those people who maybe come from, monotheistic religions, and maybe they want to explain like this is happening, and this is maybe outside of what's considered normal belief, like something that you're allowed or not allowed to believe in. How do you explain it to those people of those religious backgrounds?
Well, it just depends. So, again, a little bit more about my background that kind of matches
Yeah.
up with your background is I come from a fundamentalist Christian
Oh,
background.
wow. Okay.
So,
How did I guess in my head? Yes. Okay. No, I was just,
right. So I went to a Christian high school, and part of my college experience was at a Christian college. I did other colleges too, but that was part of it. One of my first jobs when I graduated was as a minister of music at a Church of God near Atlanta, Georgia. So I understand monotheism really well,
okay.
and I understand like
Good job, Metatron. Yeah.
right, and I understand like tried and true belief systems that people don't want to get rid of.
Right.
So when we work with people, really being sensitive to where they are without judgment in their life journey is so important.
Yeah.
So I work with people, a big part of the people a big group of the people that I work with are advanced workers and learners. That's a big part of who I work with. But I have some people that are earlier in their journey. And so when I work with new people, it's always good to get a sense of like, where are you? What are you feeling? And then I
Yeah.
listen. I'm always connected to the divine and depends, but many times Metatron. And they're talking to me and they're saying, ask them this, start there. But
Mm.
but listen, I think respect, sensitivity, and understanding where they are in a very respectful way is so important because you can't like strong arm someone into doing something that they are not ready for. So you've got to, guide people slowly but surely in ways that suit them the best way possible.
Yes, that's a very like important quality to be a judgment-free zone, very comfortable, and approach it with that respect and sensitivity. So thank you for sharing that. I can imagine how important that is when you're working with people on this spiritual stuff. So
Yeah. And a lot of times with people, there are some that kind of speed through, but
mhm,
generally I say ease and grace, ease and grace, ease and grace. Let's
I
move
like
through
that.
this with ease and grace. Sometimes if you try to jam things through, it's not so great.
Yeah, then you're facing that forced and resistance, and that's where we're having a lot of problems. So I love that it sounds like a very aligned process. And it sounds like you do a couple different things. I saw here you do a couple different things around alignment. Actually, I just said it. You have axiotonal alignment, soul alignment. Can you tell us about some of these things relating to
Sure.
alignment and how that works with like the healing process?
For sure. On the healing front, I work with the four primary archangels, Michael, Gabriel,
Mm,
Uriel, and Raphael. And we have really beautiful archangelic healing sessions. And those are magnificent. So if people are looking for healing and like the archangels, those kinds of sessions are really cool. And the archangels come in. So it's a great way for people to get to know and deepen their relationship with the archangels. And generally, the
mm,
archangels will continue to work with people after those sessions. So that's pretty cool. Axiotonal alignment, which is something that not a lot of people know about, and I'm working hard to inform and educate people about it, is
mhm.
it is returning people to their original divine blueprint. And have you heard of that before? Like your
Yeah,
divine
I've heard
blueprint?
that your divine blueprint and I was writing about something like this on my website. It's like in Islam, we have this natural state of fitra. I don't
Mhm.
know if you've heard of that, but that
Yeah.
is like a state from God, like, and Muslims have this concept a little bit. So yeah, maybe that resonates. Does that sound like it's your natural state of alignment? Or I've also heard the 0 point balance
Yeah.
and like, yeah,
Yeah,
is that
it's
all the same
exactly
thing?
that.
Okay.
It is. It is. So axiotonal alignment axiotonal alignment. The way that I do it is 2 sessions, and so I bring the divine in the first session, and the divine works with people from the first session all the way through to the second session. And so it is mind, energy, frequency, and vibrational alignment to your original divine blueprint done by the divine, and it is really spectacular and life changing. And it can also be done for couples. So if someone is part of a couple, it could be any kind of couple. Really encourage people to try to do it together. I have a special couples axiotonal alignment on my website, because if you're with somebody, you're sleeping with them, you're with them all the time, they're your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever you call it. If you both are in your original divine blueprint, it creates an amazing, significant amount of power in the relationship. So
Wow.
it's really, really cool. So that's axiotonal alignment. And I encourage your viewers to kind of do some Googling and check it out. It's pretty neat. There's not a
Yeah.
lot of information out there about it, and not a lot of people do it, but it
Yeah.
is pretty cool. So if you're looking to unlock more power in your life, that could be a really neat thing to take a look at. And
I
then
love it. Yeah. And then?
soul alignment. So I do a lot of
Mhm.
soul work. Your soul
Okay.
is like your essence of you, your divine spark, the divinity that is you is really what your soul is. It kind of like
Hmm.
holds your definition, your stipulation, all the key things that are you. And so I work with people to help them kind of know their soul better and understand themselves as their soul. I tell people
Hmm.
they're like walking, talking souls. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, like we're not physical beings, we're souls, spiritual beings living as physical life, not physical beings, but
Yeah. I would say, really, from my perspective, we're really like soul beings, not
soul
spirit
being.
beings, but like soul
Yeah.
beings. And so I
Okay.
see the soul as the knower, like the one who knows. And then the persona, like Addison, as the one who doesn't know, but tries to figure things out, like in life. We're like, oh, I'll watch this. I'll try to figure this out. I'll,
Oh.
watch this show to help understand myself. And so the soul knows. And so I talk to the soul in sessions and give information to help the person align the knower and the not knower. So they come into soul alignment, soul alignment, soul alignment, so that people are fully soul aligned and really know their mission, their purpose, and what they're supposed to do in life. Magnificent to see.
Yeah. And is that the same as the process of people doing their shadow work or their lower ego, integration work, like kill the ego? Is that this same type of work that you're describing?
It just depends on the person's journey. Sometimes, yes, not everyone really needs shadow work, and not everyone needs ego work necessarily, but it
Mm,
can be part of the soul alignment process. What I see is everyone has a unique soul journey, a unique ascension journey. So, like,
yeah.
what I go through may not be what somebody else goes through, what you go through may not be what someone else goes through. It really just depends. But shadow work and ego work can be part of that soul alignment process.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. And you've touched on this a couple times that, it's this soul or spiritual seeking process. It's about finding the right thing at the right time for where you're at, working with that person who's, we're at different stages.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I think that's also why my work, like I'm doing the spirituality consulting work, which is where I work with clients, meet with them, do a mapping call, and then figure out which is the best maybe healer or practitioner, coach, product, whatever that might be, to help them in this next step of the process, and then go for a mapping. Because it's a mapping thing, and it's like it takes a year or two. Things take time, and then we're being thrown different things at different times. So yeah, that's how it feels for me in this ascension
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
And your work is really, really highly valuable. But listen, there's a lot of people out there now as Ascension becomes more and more significant doing
Hmm.
this kind of work. So for somebody like you who can help be a matchmaker, help point people in the right
Matchmaker.
direction,
I love that. Yeah.
I
Not
mean,
the romantic kind. I'm the spiritual kind.
totally, because
Yes.
sometimes people don't know what to do. I'll give you another
Yeah.
personal example. For me, early on in my awakening process, Reiki was really important for me.
Hmm.
Um, and so I didn't know really anything about Reiki. So I started kind of look people up, Google, look on Yelp, look wherever I could, and had to call and call and call and keep trying to find the right person because I just had no idea what I was looking for. And at that point in time, I didn't even really understand all the language that they used. I'm like, I don't know what I need. I don't know. So
Yeah.
at that point in time, somebody like you would have been really, really, really helpful because it took me a while to find the right person.
Yeah,
But
like I've had my some of my Muslim friends ask me like, well, what is a chakra? And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like we need to meet with people. It's not that you have to know that information and that that's the right info. It's just that whatever you're feeling like, direction you're going, you have to understand more and more about these esoteric concepts and like, whatever that might be. So yeah, you're really right. It's like it has to resonate like at certain levels where Christian, like you came from a Christian background. Of course, you didn't know what Reiki energy healing was. You didn't have that growing up. So that makes sense.
it's like a guidance counselor at a school.
Yeah.
Like, they're the ones that say you need to take this class, you need to take this class. This professor is a good one for you. Let's get you hooked up with this person. Da 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 da.
Yes.
So otherwise, you kind of go, I don't know what classes to take. Can somebody help
Hmm.
me?
Can someone help me? Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. Yeah. And so, where can our listeners find you? Like you mentioned the types of sessions you do, the type of people that you work with, where they are, what kind of problems. So where can people find you when they want to reach out or work with you potentially?
Oh, thanks for that, Edina. So Addison Ames, like my name, AddisonAmes.com. You can find all of my work there. Also invite you to join me on Facebook, Addison Ames. I put lots of great content up there, lots of great
Oh, yes.
discussions. People can also message me there if you'd like to say hey or ask me a question, please do. YouTube, Addison Ames on YouTube, and I have lots of great free content, free videos. You'll see lots of channeling Metatron videos. So if you're looking for some cool high dimensional ascension concepts, check out my YouTube channel, Addison Ames there. And then also I'm on LinkedIn. I also offer business intelligence. I call it high
Mm,
dimensional business intelligence.
I
So I
love
use
that.
divine information and all of my business and marketing background, combine those and work with corporations and businesses to help them align to their highest values. So it's pretty cool. So join me on LinkedIn if you're interested in that. And then also really cool, I offer 2 free events for anybody who wants to come. You're welcome to come, Edina, too.
I want to come.
2 free events every week. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay. I'll put it on our
So
calendars.
every Wednesday evening, it's Soul Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I talk about a new awakened and spiritual topic each week. Last week, we talked about the soul, actually, the soul, what
Hmm.
it is, what it does. And so I present some ideas and then we all discuss and share. And it's really, really cool. That's Soul Wednesdays, each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay.
And then on Thursdays, it's Channeling Metatron Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And so people come in, bring their questions and ideas and thoughts. I share a few ideas, take some questions personally, and then I channel Metatron and Metatron talks about a number of topics and takes questions from the live audience. And it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. And those
Awesome.
events can be found on meetup.com. So if you're
Uh-huh.
familiar with Meetup, go to
Meetup. Yep.
meetup.com. You can also find them on my website too, But if you go to meetup.com and search Addison Ames, you'll see those events. Just RSVP. They're free. They're on Zoom like this, and they're
Yep,
a lot of fun.
take them anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely joining those because I actually had a bunch more questions about the soul and what it, what it is, because you
Yeah.
were discerning between that and spirit. So thank you so much, Addison. I appreciate this information that you bring to the world. You have so many free resources, your YouTube channels, your live sessions. That's priceless. I mean, people can actually, it's like, come have access to this important information that's connecting them straight to divine energy and source. So I'm so excited. This is awesome. Any last words or things you'd like to leave our audience with before we wrap up the show? Things you'd like to leave us with before we leave?
Well, I would say, consider this. A key part of your ascension journey is knowing yourself.
Mm,
Not everybody talks about that. Many people are looking out there, out there for
yeah.
stuff,
Oh, yeah.
but your truth is always in here.
Yeah, self-awareness, self-reflection. I have a meme that I put early on: introspection, like, is the inflection point of healing, self-actualization, ego. That's why I also brought up the ego, because it's really, more about self-awareness as opposed to operating from a place of, ego. And so all of those things really resonate with me. And I love that you ended on that note, because we have a lot of healers and spiritual gurus or shaman, whatever people are doing. And right now I'm seeing a lot more of the collective and the messaging becoming more about looking within. Your own self is your own connection to the divine. It's not about, all these other things. And yeah, that's also a message that I get from being Muslim. We have this, we're connected straight to Allah. There's no intermediary in religion. So yeah, that was a beautiful message, because it's so important for us on the spiritual journey. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on the program. You're great. I mean,
Oh,
you're
you're great.
awesome.
Thank you. This is my fun. This is what I love doing best. And I just think it's awesome that I get to interview people with such amazing information. And there's so much truth and wisdom and empowerment messaging in within it, how to live our best life, how to do these things, how to get through these challenges. So I'm just so excited, because this was an amazing episode. Thank you so much, Addison. It was great having you.
Thank you, Edina. Thanks to all your viewers as well. Many
Thank you.
blessings.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. And
You too.
this is Into the Light with Edina Mauvana. And we'll talk soon. Hopefully we'll have you again, Addison. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.